33 of Neetcode 150, time-based key value store. So let's go ahead and read the problem. Implement a time-based key value data structure that supports storing multiple values for the same key at specified timestamp, retrieving the key's value at a specified timestamp. So we're going to have to implement the class, which is within here. And we're going to have to create basically the set and get method. And the set method should be able to store a key and its value. All right. And the get method is basically going to have to return the most recent value of the key. So this is pretty much it. We are going to have to use a time complexity of big O of 1 for the set, which honestly it is not the challenging part of the problem. And we're going to have to use a time complexity of big O log n for the get. And when you see time complexity of big O log n for searching something, we think of binary search. Okay, so let's go ahead and start coding this. So basically in our constructor, we are going to set we're going to use a hash map to keep track of the keys, right? And their respective values. So we are going to say self dot however you want to call it. We can call it in the inventory, and we will set this equal to a hash map. All right. And now in the function set, well, first we want to check basically if the key, well, we want to append the key to the values of that particular key, but the key might actually not be in the inventory yet. So if key not in self dot inventory, so in this case we are going to create the empty array of values. So just like this. All right, and then we are set to basically call our self dot inventory, add the key given, and basically append to it. Now we want to actually store the value and the timestamp. All right, so that is it, and it takes a time complexity of big O of 1. So this is the easiest part of the problem. Now the hardest part is actually to get the values, and we have to do this in the time complexity of big O of 1. So we are going to use a binary search, and we're also going to have to we are going to have to keep track of the string, the answer string. So we are going to set this first, and we will also create a variable value that will store basically the key. Okay, so let's go ahead and say output and values. So the output is initially an empty string. We'll eventually append on it, or we're gonna add in it, but for now it's empty. And the values, oh, pardon me, in the values will be self.inventory, and we are gonna use the get method because we can handle the edge cases where there is nothing. So in this case, it will return 0. Right? Otherwise, we will keep track of the keys. I will keep track basically of the values of the keys, and this is where we're gonna initiate our binary search. So in a binary search, you have a start and you have an end index. the start index starts at 0 and the end starts at the last element, at the last index. So it's going to be the length of the values minus 1. All right. And we can initiate our while loop. So while the start is smaller or equal to the end, we are initially going to create our middle value, which is the start plus the end rounded towards the 0. And now we want to be wise, because what it says in the problem is that the get value has to return the most recent value of the timestamp. All right. So we will want to be we want to check if the value of the middle is smaller than the timestamp. And if it is, we will be looking at the right portion of the array. Otherwise, we will be looking at the left section. So let's go ahead and write the first if statement. So we're going to say if values at the middle, and the timestamp is basically the second element, so we always have to write our one. So if this is smaller or equal than the timestamp, all right. First thing that we want to do is basically to set the answer to that. So the output at this point is going to be equal to that particular value. So we're going to say values at the middle index 0. So we are going to retrieve the shortest timestamp every time. Okay. And once this is done, we are gonna move our starting pointer to the right. So it's gonna be equal to the mid plus 1. And in the other case where the timestamp is actually greater, well, we are gonna take a look at the left portion of the array. So mid minus 1. And after this, we can return our output, which can be an empty string. All right. So this is actually it. There is not much that we can do here. This is the best solution, and we have an error because I use middle again. All right. Am I using middle elsewhere? No. So let's go ahead and start again. So here, why are we getting an error? So we are getting the key. Okay, I get it. Yes, the default value here shall basically be an empty array because the values of the keys are not a number; they're actually an array. So I made a mistake by doing by adding a 0. So hopefully this solves the issues. And yes, all right. So this is how we solve the problem 33 of Neetcode, time-based key sorted value, by using a binary search algorithm. So I hope you learned from this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.